Whoa. Okay, here we are, folks. Welcome back to the ZET Podcast. This is our fifth episode in our 20th series. We'd like to thank you all for joining back and donating to our podcast. Make sure to rate 5 stars on iTunes. It's a big help, and we appreciate it very much.
Yes.
So, Matt, about this guy. Gauruv Aurora. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. He's a little known guy over at I think it's Drexel University right now. And he tried to start a podcast called The Eagle Zone. Yeah, it's based off his Instagram. He posts a lot of Eagles stuff there. How do you feel about this guy coming into our element of podcasting, trying to take away our millions of subscribers, and basically shitting on everything that we've done so far? How do you feel about that?
Well, personally, I feel bad for the guy. This is a person that attends the College of Drexel University in Philadelphia. And his name, on top of that, his name is Gauruv Aurora. Do you even get that? I think what he does is he heard our podcast, and then he was like, I'm gonna make a podcast called The Eagle Zone, and
Yeah, it's kind of dumb name when you think about it, right? Like Zone the Eagles is just, it rolls off the tongue, like everybody knows about it. But then he comes in with the Eagle Zone, like that's some kind of brand name that you can just take. Like you can't just take that. That's like calling the NFL, like taking the National Football League and making it like the Extreme Football League, like the XFL. That just doesn't make sense.
I agree. I mean, with that name, the Eagle Zone, I'm just confused. I'm not sure if he's talking about cooking or if he's talking about, pop culture.
Yeah, it's very unclear his motives.
But with Zone Eagles, you know what you're getting. You know you're getting your classic Philadelphia Flyers, Eagles, Phillies sports football hockey talk.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we cover all sports and teams.
Only if they're
all
the
one
Eagles, though.
Oh yeah, all one of them. The only sports team out there, the Eagles.
The Philadelphia Eagles.
Birds.
They play football, and recently yesterday they lost a game to the California
Eagles
gold miners.
You know what I don't understand? You ever look at some of the teams, like their mascots and stuff, and you ever wonder why there's 4 Eagles teams in the NFL? Like you got the Atlanta Eagles, the Philadelphia Eagles, the New England Eagles, and then the Miami Eagles. Like, if you look at their mascots, they're all the same. And 5, the Baltimore Eagles, too. And 6, the Arizona Eagles.
I'm just confused, just as confused.
Like, you think they could come up with another animal. Like, it doesn't make sense.
I know.
Yeah.
And, when you think of eagles, I almost instantly think of tissues.
Yeah.
So, you might as well just call them the Philadelphia Tissues.
Yeah, exactly. They'll make you cry, too.
I know. And then those California gold miners, can we talk about how they scored more points than the Philadelphia Tissues?
It was weird because it looked like, for the first third of the game, first 3/4 of the game, it looked like there was only one team on the field. And then apparently the gold miners decided to show up in the fourth period of the game. And then, somehow they managed to score more points than the Birds did in all 3 quarters.
And, yeah. Well,
periods, innings, whatever you want to call it. It's your personal preference.
I would just like to say, I love fractions.
Yes.
At quarters, thirds, But, those first 3 fractions out of the 4.
They were good.
They were good. And then those gold miners started...
That last quarter, that last 1/4.
They started sifting through us.
Exactly. It's almost like they were mining us. Like, but we're in the birds. So we're birds, so we're in the sky. Like, we should be watching over them the whole time.
I know, like, what are we doing in the
Yeah.
mind?
I think we need less strikeouts. We need more goals. Less 3-point. We gotta leave less people open for the 3-pointers. We're giving away way too many 3-pointers. People are dunking on us. They're they're causing fumbles. People are getting red flagged. People are red carded. People are getting they're getting walks.
You know what?
They're getting in the timeout box to get the power plays going on. You can't be having that in these kinds of situations, especially when you're up by that much in at the end of the third inning. You can't just give it up like that. It doesn't make sense.
I have an idea,
Okay.
and I feel like no one's thought of this before. But I'm just saying, like, what if we, as the Philadelphia Flyer Eagles, we completely reconstruct our roster? So, this year draft, we're gonna draft strictly babies. Three and below.
Okay, so 3 and below. So if they're higher than 3, we don't want them.
No, we can't take them.
Well, the one problem that I could see arising from that is around this time of year next year, those babies obviously are gonna want to go out trick or treating, and I mean we can't have that because there's no off season, in obviously in the NFLBM, and you can't just go home and trick or treat. But if we don't let them do that, they're gonna be crying like babies while we're trying to get some freaking practice in.
Well, I was thinking.
But I like the idea of a young team.
If you have babies, you don't need practice. You just give them the ball and tell them where to go, and then who's gonna tackle a baby? That's what I'm saying.
I'm not. You know what? You might be onto something.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna get back to that. But first, a word from our sponsor. We'd like to thank Audible for sponsoring this episode. Audible is a place where you can download the best free porn free of charge. I'm talking interracial, I'm talking BBC, I'm talking anything. Men on men, men on women, women on women, cats on dogs, dogs on dogs.
Hey Dan, is there pee on Audible?
Yeah.
Like urine?
Yeah.
I love urine.
We don't just have pee. We have pee, fart, urine, burping. I know. And you can start your free trial right hugging now. Just use the code FET at checkout on Amazon.com, and you can start your free trial of Audible and whack yourself silly.
I'm naked right now.
Alright, so back to the topic at hand. You're talking about babies on the Eagles team. Now, I liked your idea of a young offense. I brought up the idea of trick-or-treaters and how that could be a small problem with people at at that level.
Mm-hmm.
What I think, and this is just a shot in the dark. I think maybe your idea is brilliant. I think what you brought up about not wanting to, as long as we don't have a game on Halloween, or we don't have a Christmas Day game, because obviously they're gonna be home on Christmas Day. I think that your logic is smart. Who's gonna want to tackle a baby? The only other problem I could see is you can tell a baby where to go, but you can't force them to go there.
That's why we're gonna chip these babies. We're getting in their brains.
Okay.
And then we're just controlling them. It's like video games.
At that point, would you get rid of Doug Peterson? Because I don't think he's really. I see. Like my thought is, you got to get rid of Doug Peterson because obviously he's way too old. He's not in touch with the team. It's a young team, not a young coach, so that's not good. So in order to chip them, because obviously he's going to be in control if he's on the field, I think we should draft somebody a little bit more, little bit more of their style, a little bit more of their age. And
I
I'm
already
thinking.
have that figured out.
Oh, well, I was proposing that we we get Megan from Drake and Josh.
Megan.
Yes, but
Right.
not the old one, the young one. So like season 1, Megan. She's around that age. I'm sure she's around somewhere. You know, so if we can just pull her out of that time period, she can be the coach. I think, and it'd be great because I don't think there's ever been a female NFL coach, and she would be the first, and it would revolutionize the sport. I think we're gonna really move it in the right direction.
See, personally, I feel Megan would just be a distraction for the franchise.
Why? Because she'd be calling them.
Because there'd be so many moments where, instead of playing football, these babies would just be frustrated, and then they'd just say, "Megan." They do that.
Okay.
It happens.
Well, I
with
mean,
Megans.
she does call them boobs a lot, so I can see the problems there.
And then we're gonna have horny babies. You know what happens when you have horny babies?
I'll tell you what happens when you. Anyways, so what you said you had a person in mind?
Yes. I think the Philadelphia Flygels should invest all their assets in Steve from Blue's Clues.
Oh.
Think of it. Have you seen the way Steve draws with a crayon?
I'm pretty sure Steve got caught in a drug scandal.
We can look right past that. It's Steve.
Can
okay?
we?
Have you seen
He
the
left
way
the show, dude. He left.
Yes, exactly.
I
So
think we
he
might
is
want
available.
I would go with Joe over Steve, to be honest with you.
Joe doesn't know me like Steve does.
I know. Nobody ever knows Joe as well as they know Steve. But the thing is Steve can walk out at any time. That's the problem.
He is a bit of a wild card.
Steve is not a reliable character. I mean, he can leave, and you never know if he's going to come back. You never know. You're never sure. So I think that's a solid idea, but I think you're taking a big risk for something like that.
I just think the way he draws with the crayon, it's not rivaled.
That's true. That's true.
And just think, when he's drawing out the plays,
Simple.
no one's going to draw a line to the end zone
Mm-hmm.
like Steve is with the crayon.
Exactly. I don't necessarily know if he could be head coach, but I definitely think he could be one of the assistant coaches. I think he's definitely got a place on the team somewhere. Head coach, I don't know if I could see it right now. But that's all the time we have right now. We want to thank you all for listening to Zone Eagles, our 5th podcast and our 100th series. I'd like to thank Audible once again for sponsoring us. Make sure to go there. Use code ZET to get your 15% off your free trial. And then,
One more thing.
Okay.
I'm naked right now.
And, so this has been fun. Make sure to submit your questions. We're happy to answer them. I think we answered a lot of people's questions in this first episode. One last remark before we go. Matt, do you have any last, final words to say to Gauruv Aurora, regarding his major mess up here with, trying to take our podcast?
Gauruv, I think it's cute, It's cute that you tried to, steal our thing that we, originated. But I just don't think it's funny,
Exactly.
And I will kill you.
Oh, you heard it here first, folks. All right, thank you all for joining us. We will see you all in the next episode.